Alright, so welcome everybody to the first game in this best of 7 series in the 2-post tournament grand final. We have on the north Aftermath with MBL in yellow as Incas, and his teammate is gonna be Hans for Hera in green. Down south is gonna be Team Secret. Franks is the civilization for the Viper in blue, and it is gonna be Vietnamese in red for TaToH. No surprise in the Vietnamese pick, I have to say, by Secret. Because exactly what I'm gonna show you here. They can see the starting TCs of the opponent, so they will be going on an early lane most likely, as the Viper is already moving out with his scout. He's gonna look around his own base, but guess what? MBL might be laming Viper again. Well, not again, but that might be the thing here. MBL is looking for the boar, and MBL is relaying the position of Viper to Hera. Now, how do you know that Viper is here? You see the primary gold. This is the biggest gold pile there. Random golds are smaller than that, and there we go. MBL is laming the boar here from the Viper. Viper might be going for the lame himself, but laming MBL is going to be kind of tricky. Maybe this war is lameable. On the other side, TaToH doesn't look like he's going for the lame just yet. They need to time the lames very well, because if they're early, then the opponent can just call a restart, and that might be the case here. If MBL... Oh, MBL is forced to run away here because Viper is really looking for him. So, this is a tricky scenario, but it looks like he might be able to escape with this boar over here. So far it's looking good for Aftermath. But Viper can always call a re, and I'm really surprised to see that Secret is not calling or is not going for lane. Like, every game... in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals, on Arabia, they picked Vietnamese exactly because they wanted to see the TCs of the opponent, and there we go, Viper with the re. I think he noticed that his boar was stolen, but he couldn't find the scout of MBL, so we have a re here. MBL's lane is actually paying off, and I am definitely surprised that it was not Secret who did the lame. Like, that is super surprising to me. Because this is why I thought that they might be picking... Vietnamese here. There is no other point picking Vietnamese aside from the fact that they have to pick it somewhere. So... getting lamed here, MBL going for the early boar steal. It pays off, because you burn one restart of the opponent. We didn't really check the maps of the certain players, but it's really important to mention that if you can burn a restart from your opponent, then that is actually a significant thing. Because if they get a very bad map later on, then... they won't be able to call a restart that easily. They have 2 restarts, by the way, each team. But still, having used a restart this early is definitely gonna be a tiny bit problematic for Secret. Not a big problem, but you need every advantage. Alright. Considering that my laptop has died on me here, I'll grab a tablet and try to watch the chat over there. Hi there, Goldstones. I'm just explaining that I can barely spectate chat because my laptop has just died on me. Okay, let's assume that I have a okay setup here on which I can spectate chat. It's not super fancy, but it works. Anyways, welcome everybody to the first game in this best of 5 or best of 7 series in the 2-post tournament grand finals. So we're gonna have Aftermath over here. Don't worry about that, Goldstones, by the way. Don't worry about that. So I'll explain that in between the two games, okay? So, but don't worry. So this is a best of 7 series. We got Aftermath over here after a restart being called by Secret after their board got lamed. MBL is going very aggressive again, already stealing 2 sheep from the Viper. There is 2 restarts each team. So eventually, Secret could still call a restart, but it would be a disaster for them if they had to call all of their restarts. It looks like MBL won't be able to lame a boar away because Viper was smart enough to take the front boar. But eventually the problem is that he already lost 2 sheep, and that's a good start for Aftermath, I think. No lame attempts so far by Secret. This is definitely something that Hera could lame here on the on TaToH's base. And look at that, MBL is gonna take 1 more sheep away, maybe he can spot this boar. Escaping with it here is definitely something that he could do, and it's not looking super good right now for Secret. There we go. Look at MBL. He's the master boar lamer. Is he trying to lame a villager? Let's see. He's patrolling his scout over here, so I assume he might try to snipe a villager here who is going for the boar. There we go. He is going for a villager now. He cannot take the boar. Now he's gonna try to take the villager. And there he is. He's moving in. This is a very easy block. This is a super easy block. You just have to move in here. Viper with the quick walls is beautiful. Absolutely amazing quick walls by the Viper. So he's gonna save that villager. But it's low HP, and the boar is gonna be delayed quite a bit. Now, if I was MBL, I would just lame that boar away now. 4 minutes have passed, so the restart is not an option now for Secret. Let's see, Viper will be forced to take his scout back home to possibly deny MBL from trying to block his villager again. So far, this has been very good for Aftermath. Like, they delayed the boar here from the Viper, damaged a few villagers, Viper is forced to push some deer towards his TC, and to my surprise, MBL is not laming that boar away. I think at that point, if he still lames that at the 4-minute mark, it's already a very good thing. He took away a few sheep as well from the Viper, so Viper's eco is not in a good shape. Maybe TaToH is gonna be able to take something away here from Hera. Alright, so let's take a look at the maps of the players here. You got Hera with a very nice base, to be honest. His primary gold is definitely something he can actually secure. It's a tiny bit tricky, but he's open from the right side, and his secondary gold is not good. But this stone and this gold could be secured if he adds a palisade over here and here. It's not a super fancy base, but it works just as well. And he's gonna be able to expand in this direction. Maybe he could even wall this, but I feel like that would be a very weird thing to do. Instead, just wall in between this forest and the TC, and the wall over here, and you are fine in this nice little corner. TaToH might be able to snap this villager. No loom for Hera. Oh boy, loom is arriving, but this might be late. Hera is gonna have to fall back with his scout or an additional villager. Tiny bit of delay being forced on those walls. Beautiful recognition there by TaToH, but now he's gonna take some shots on his scout. Let's take a look at MBL's base. His stone is very safe. He can wall himself very easily from the left and right. Overall, he's kind of exposed, and he is gonna wall this region entirely. What a walls by MBL, wow. I didn't expect him to wall this aggressively. I guess he wants to secure that gold no matter what, and that might be the most reasonable thing he can do. But this is gonna be a super aggressive walls here. Also, his villager over here is completely exposed, so if there was a scout here from TaToH or the Viper, they could attempt to snipe that villager. So, looking at the Viper's base as he is clicking up at 20 villagers, going for the scouts build. Wait, no. He's not going for the scouts build with the Franks, he's actually going men-at-arms. Now that is even more surprising. Meanwhile, TaToH hasn't clicked up just yet, which makes me believe that he might be able... Let's see, taking a look at his gold pile. Yeah, he took 10 gold away from this gold pile, meaning that this is gonna be either a Drush into archers or a Drush FC. A Drush FC into crossbows could be a reasonable thing to do here if you are TaToH. You could have decent crossbows running around very soon. Viper with the men-at-arms opening is quite surprising, as it looks like TaToH might lose his scout. Nope. He's just gonna take some shots. Anyways, looking at Viper's base, his base is not super good. His woodlands are kind of exposed. His gold is exposed as well. He just made the bracks right next to it. Interesting. Definitely interesting base here. It's gonna be very tough for him to protect. Hira is full evolved, even though his base is something kind of ugly, to be honest. But it's nice and little. It works just as well. And this is what I said. Viper trying to snipe down the villager here from MBL. Oh, look at that. TaToH could come in with this scout. MBL's villager here is gonna be delayed for a lot of time. Unless he does a beautiful gate like that. Look at that micromanagement. Oh no. Oh no, this wall is gonna go down. The wall is gonna go down. MBL, no. And that villager has nowhere to run. Delete that wall. As MBL is gonna lose a villager. Oh boy. Oh boy. And there is man-at-arms coming up from the Viper and militias from TaToH. So that's some very heavy early aggression over here. Meanwhile, what's the plan for MBL? He is going into straight up archers. Possibly double ranges is coming up very soon. As Secret will try to get inside, it's gonna be quite hard because MBL can just always second layer this, but this is gonna take a lot of villager idle time here. Because, look at that, he's gonna have to add the house over here and add the house over here. So there's a lot of pressure on his base, and that is gonna force MBL to commit a lot of villagers towards these repairs and second layerings, as TaToH is finally clicking up at 30 villagers, which is indeed a Drush FC, most likely into archers, although who knows? The Viper went for man-at-arms opening, which is definitely a surprising thing to have if you are Franks. We'll see how this evolves, but the Viper doesn't actually pop out any stables. It looks like Hira over here with those scouts. Hira is a very good scouts player, and he could snipe a few villagers from the Viper, who is mining stone. What's up with this one? What's the plan for the Viper here? Why is he mining this much stone? Is he going a man-at-arms opening and then just try to boom? That definitely could be a possibility. So, scouts over here for Hira, but eventually these spears will be able to protect Viper's base unless it is scouts moving on the stone miners. But Viper is committed to mining stone here with 3 villagers. Maybe he wants to drop an early castle. That's what I can think of. He's making a defensive tower here on his gold mine. That is something that was super necessary, I believe, as TaToH is finally up to feudal. Meanwhile, the pressure is relieved from MBL's base now that the archers are arriving. He is going double ranges, triple ranges. Wait, no, it's a blacksmith. I'm just dumb. So double ranges and a blacksmith. But yet again, he's gonna face Vietnamese crossbows very soon, and now Hira's base is under pressure. And when the Vietnamese crossbows arrive, it's gonna be very tough for Hira to protect his base because his villagers over here are exposed. Gold miners, stone miners, even lumberjacks will be exposed from all directions. There's nowhere to run for Hira if he gets a few crossbows at his base. Now this is trouble for the Viper, especially if the scouts from Hira move in. Viper could lose a villager here very fast. Exactly, surround the villager, kill him. And Viper's tower denied at 90% is a big thing. He also has an extra man-at-arms in that barracks. I'm not exactly sure what the Viper is planning over here. He's mining stone with 3 still. So maybe he just wants to boom for additional TCs and just wanted to make a defensive tower here. That's a possibility. Anyways, Hira has to commit 2 villagers to repair this gate. This is actually quite significant, because that's a lot of idle time being forced. I would like to see Viper beating down this deer over here, to be honest. Because that's one less deer for your opponent to work with. Meanwhile, TaToH on his way to Castle Age, Hira is popping out even more scouts, even though he just lost 3 here, possibly to the TC fire and the help of this spearman. Anyways, the big thing right now is that Viper's goal is getting denied. He made a defensive tower here on his wood as well, so he just mines stone because he feels like his base is so bad that he's forced to make defensive towers against the archers that are coming from MBL. But still, he has no gold access. Looking at his vision, he is unable to see this gold pile to the right side, which is a big problem, and oops. He will be forced to ask some help from TaToH, who is just arriving with the archers. Alright, to the north, it looks like most of the aggression here is now cleaned up, militias getting eaten up by the archers from MBL. Like I said, head on. These archers are better for Vietnamese, as opposed to the Inca archers. So, interesting approach here for MBL, not trying to tower with the Incas. And he's just using that as a standard civilization for archers. Anyways, crossbows hitting for the TaToH, botkin arrow still missing. So eventually, these are not super strong crossbows, but they have the upper hand against these archers, especially with the Vietnamese health bonus. Viper reclaiming his gold pile finally, but he was delayed quite heavily. Still, yeah, Hero is gonna be a tiny bit ahead of him in Castle Age time. Now, Hunnic tables work faster, so eventually Hero is gonna be able to pop out knights a tiny bit faster than the Viper can, and Hunnic knights are basically as good as the ones from the Viper. So eventually, this should be slight advantage in the hands of Hera, if you ask me. Alright, free TC is coming up here for TaToH, as Viper is finally gonna be able to wall himself, adding some palisades to the left side. Still, his gold is kind of exposed, and Hero is still trying to get some villager picks potentially with these scouts. Now he's running into the tower fire, as Viper is also going up to Castle Age. Let's see what TaToH can do with those early crossbows. So, this is an interesting thing, because he couldn't really capitalize on his early Castle Age that much, to be honest. Like, the best thing he could do is just push away MBL from the Viper's base here, but that didn't really do any help, to be honest. Oops. Okay, so let's see. Scouts push coming up from Hera here. He's gonna get the chain morning upgrade and gonna go double TCs. So his knights are gonna be quite good. Let's see. He's just gonna have +2 armor. No attack upgrades as of yet, but looking at the Viper, he is just hurrying up the double stables. So eventually the Viper is quite a bit behind, to be honest. He's still got a few men-at-arms running around, but that shouldn't actually influence the game that much. Oh, MBL with the sneaky crossbows. This could be very bad for the Viper. 3 exposed villagers over here, potentially 3 others here on the wood line. Especially if Hera can find a way inside with his scouts, this could be disaster for the Viper. MBL, I think he's wise that he's waiting for the crossbow and botkin arrow to upgrade before moving towards the base of the Viper. Third town center coming up by Hero, expanding his base, that's okay. TaToH with quite a lot of crossbows, but eventually the numbers are way greater for MBL here. Alright, MBL, he is moving in with the crossbows, and that is gonna be a lot of dead villagers from the Viper. There we go. Viper losing a lot of villagers into this aggression, as he's down to 35 villagers. The snake's eco is in ruins, and that means that the strongest civilization in this match, in hands of Secret, is going down the drain, and that's a big problem. They will have Vietnamese, but Vietnamese should be way weaker than what Franks can actually offer to Secret. So, having a this weak cavalry civilization is definitely gonna be a big problem, especially if Hero moves in with his own knights. Now, you cannot actually get inside the base of TaToH just yet over here, but what you could gamble for is a few picks here on the villagers. It's not gonna happen just yet. Now, MBL is kind of trapped over here, which is a big trouble. There is no escape. The best thing he can do is take this corner, take this hill, and just take the fight. Possibly snipe down a few knights of Viper, who just has +1. It's a trap. Anyways, now the Viper has managed to clean this up, but his eco is in ruins. 38 villagers only. He's just gonna add the second town center on his forward gold. His opponents are 2 and 3 TCs respectively, and TaToH is 3 TCs as well. Now the crossbows are arriving. TaToH is forced to evacuate his wood line. And with the scouts aggression here, possibly with the knights aggression from Hera, this could be very bad for Team Secret, as the crossbows will just bash their ways through the walls here. One thing you have to watch out for is not to get trapped, but no skirms coming up just yet from Secret. Knights, if Hera moves in with the knights over here, he could just start massacring these villagers or force massive amounts of idle time. Already losing villagers on the gold pile is gonna be Secret. And guess what? Aftermath is alive, killing a lot of eco. Meanwhile, AM's eco is completely safe here. and they are just massing more and more numbers. They have a quite significant lead in terms of economy right now. Even killing the farms is actually quite useful for MBL. It's kind of a waste of wood right now for TaToH. Well, not waste of wood, but eventually he's gonna lose wood because of that. Anyways, this is some nice micro here by MBL. He's got the university as well, as TaToH is forced to garrison his crossbows into the TC. Relief force coming up from the back. Viper now has +2 armor, but the extra forging is there for Hera. And this is just looking way better for Aftermath, even though Secret does have the extra health on these crossbows. In terms of armor, though, MBL is leading. He's got the +2 armor. Meanwhile, TaToH is just at +1. So eventually this is a fight that AM cannot just take, but will win as well. Viper calling the GG as Aftermath is taking game number 1. Alright, so a quite good match to start off with, to be honest. Yeah, I need the drafting screen here. And eventually, Aftermath is snagging the first victory. In terms of civilizations, I think it was fairly balanced. It's more like about the fact that the map for Secret wasn't super fancy. And the other thing is that the pressure from MBL that basically killed 6 or 7 Viper villagers was a big difference maker here. So, let's see. Next map up is gonna be Forest Pond.